What's going on, party people out there in internet land? How's everyone doing tonight? We are the Shake Up Guys, saying hey, coming back at you with another topic that might get us kicked off of YouTube, but we're way past that now. Yeah. So, again, I'm Brad, saying hey, and I'll let everybody else go around the room.
Go ahead, man.
Tell that nigga rock.
That nigga rock. You gotta get your energy up, man. You gotta come in like this, man. You got big energy, big. I mean, I don't just get the crowd pumped up, man.
I don't have a fucking whole series of nicknames.
I don't have a series. I just me.
Go ahead, do what you do then.
I'm fine, since you insist. I am the world's greatest misogynist. I am the rated R superstar. I am JL. See, that's big energy. That brings in people. See how you smiling right now? That's energy right there.
That's a smile of this nigga. Over here.
Seeing as how you guys are going back and forth, I'll do it like this. And in this court, weighing at 175 pounds, 5'5", but he swings like a 6-footer. J-Rock is in the building.
I'm gonna come up with something.
There you go.
One day.
That's what's up. Well, we'll move right along since we got a late start today.
Yes.
What else is new with us? We we got stuff to do. But
shit, I'm back to work. Strike's over.
So congratulations to the workers out at GM. They finally ended the strike, so they're going back to make wonderful products for the rest of the world again. That's awesome.
For products.
Y'all get everything y'all wanted out of the deal? Or?
Man, I can't even talk about that. Yeah, but we straight.
It's all good. Yeah,
that's all that matters.
That's what matters, man. Power to the people. Anywho, in current events, I don't have any.
There's really not a lot.
There's really not a lot going on. I mean, every time I turn on the TV, they want to talk about President Cheeto. So I'm getting kind of over that shit.
He did get booed though. That shit was funny.
Oh yeah, to lock him up shit at the Astros game.
That shit was funny. He got booed and told him to lock his ass up.
Like, how much paper do you need before you just become a completely shameless individual?
Right.
Like, I wonder what's the number.
Right.
Like, how high do you have to climb before you just be like, you know what? This stuff doesn't bother me.
Right.
Well, they call $2 million "fuck you" money, where you just fuck you. I don't care anymore. When you billionaire status. Nigga, I will piss on your kids in front of you. What you gonna do, sue me?
I'm just saying.
I write the check. Right. Fuck you and this kid.
Well, my thing is
bring
like,
your other kid out here.
Like, what's the cutoff? Like it's not definitely not 500,000.
No,
it's got to be somewhere like $10 to $50 million range. Once you hit that range, it's just like,
whatever.
Yeah, I don't care if they die.
Yeah.
Somebody bring me a coffee or something.
But I just not much going on, man.
Not a lot going on, man. All I got is one funny story.
All right, cool. Go for it.
I got into an argument with this girl the other day because she was so adamant that she was a professional and she was such a good catch and all this other stuff, and she was so proud of her career. So I asked her, I'm like, so what do you do? And she's like, I'm a teacher. I was like, okay, that's good. That's admirable. You mold young minds. You're shaping the foundation for the future. You're working with the youth. I respect that.
She just wants summers off, man.
Yeah, basically. You just don't want to work in the summer, bitch.
She just wants summers off.
So I asked her, after giving her all this praise and telling her, I respect you somewhat. Because I don't respect too many people. She tells me, well, I teach first grade. Then everything shifted. And this is where I'm like, I got to ask y'all, am I wrong? Because I was like, bitch, you're a babysitter. You're not a teacher. You're a babysitter. And what do they do?
Teaches them stuff.
Well, fuck you.
We learn stuff in first grade.
You don't learn shit in first grade. Maybe addition and subtraction, maybe your letters.
Basically coloring.
Maybe your letters.
That's kindergarten.
But the same shit. You're mostly coloring and
first grade
and recess and juice box.
I remember first grade we learned like multiplication.
Don't they still take naps in the first grade?
No, maybe that wasn't first grade.
That wasn't first grade.
Third grade, maybe.
Yeah, third grade is when you start to get to the math and all that. But first grade is a babysitter.
So then my facial expression went from to, oh, bitch, fuck you and your fucking whack ass career. You're a babysitter. You're free childcare for motherfuckers who gotta go to work. Fuck your career.
They still gotta pay for lunches.
Some places.
School lunch is what? 20 bucks a week? That's a hell of a lot better than daycare.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You're a babysitter. Fuck your first grade teacher
I
status.
agree.
So if you're a first grade or first or second grade teacher, don't tell me you're a teacher. Call yourself a babysitter. And I think I just pissed off every teacher.
That's
in
fine.
America.
Pretty much.
It's okay. I had a story, and I wanted to get you guys' opinion on this. So you guys know my side hustle. I'm not gonna name it, but
Stripper.
yeah, sure. So this lady was telling me last night that she was hanging out with a coworker of hers,
Right.
and the coworker was a man. The man also was like professing his love to her, which that's not really that big of a deal, right? But then she tells me she doesn't have time to deal with his profession of love because she's got a family at the crib. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, if you got a family at the crib,
Why you out?
Like
what are you doing out on a Monday? You know what I'm saying? What are you doing?
Here's the
not that the
thing.
day makes a difference. But hold on, wait a minute. Let me throw this last part out here. This is the part that really made me think this wasn't on the up and up. She then proceeded to tell me, "Oh crap, I forgot to turn my phone back on."
Oh yeah.
Bitch probably took her wedding ring off too.
Yeah.
Well, she's not married to
you
the
a
dude.
whore.
She's not married to her boyfriend.
They're
but-
just a family.
But they are a family. They got kids. They got a kid together. They're together.
Okay, this is my gripe. Usually when a dude starts professing his love, at some point in time, she has given this motherfucker some
inkling
indication
that she was interested.
that
right?
she was interested in his ass.
That's what I thought.
And now she out.
Dude even broke up with his girl.
Oh
Oh,
shit.
she done already fucked in
Yeah, she done put something in his head, and it was probably it could have been, work flirtation, or she might have just want a little side dick. But now that the motherfucker's like, I'm dropping my chick, this and that, she's probably like, whoa, okay, no, but that's on her. That's her fault.
Nobody drops their woman for a crush.
For a crush.
For a potential.
Or a chance at a crush.
For a potential mate.
Right.
You drop when you've already got this established and you're ready to move into that.
Right. This is what it sounded
She's a
like to
piece of
me, and I
shit.
think y'all will agree. This is what it sounded like to me. To me, it sounded like what you said and what you said. They had some side shit going on at work. He dumped his girl because he wanted to be with her. But she's not ready to dump her dude to mess
be
with
with
him.
him. Right.
So essentially, Buddy played himself.
He played himself
He
big
played
time.
himself hard. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
He got Richied. He got Richie. He got Sunshine.
Oh, Richie from
Oh, from Harlem Nights.
I ain't never coming home again. Yeah, he got Richie.
Yeah. Damn, that's, yeah.
So she stayed at home because it was safe and secure. He dumped his chick, and now he's stuck and with his dick in his hand, and his ex then moved on to some new wood.
Right.
I mean, the thing is, Buddy even paid for the ride for her to go home.
Oh shit.
Yeah, she did something. I mean,
Yeah, I guarantee you.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, she-
She trifling.
I mean, that to me, it sounded shady.
trifling.
It sounded
No, that's-
kind of shady.
that's
but
super shady.
It's really not something that I would express to that person because it's not really none of my business. I just found it to be an interesting
Yeah.
tale.
Look, all the telltale signs are there.
Yeah.
She turns on her phone. She's sneaking out on a Monday night. This dude broke up with his girl. Oh, you done rolled dick backwards at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, I left
the
the part out. I forgot about this part because it really wasn't that important. It's only important now that I'm thinking about it. When the ride was over, she did not want me to drop her off in front of her house. She wanted me to drop her off down the street.
Yeah. That's not normal activity, bro.
No.
That's not normal activity at all.
Wait a minute. That is a perfect segue into today's topic. But I just want to point out, she wanted to be dropped off down the street and walk the last 2-3 houses to her home. So she's willing to risk being mugged and raped in that little half a block radius just to avoid being found out by her dude at home.
I thought that was odd, but
Mental illness.
Yeah.
And that is what our topic is about today, folks. We're going to discuss mental illness. Not so much from a clinical perspective, but from just an everyday, wow, is this mother crazy perspective? And yeah. So, there's another one too.
I deal with mental, not me, I deal with a little mental illness. But I deal with people with mental illness every day on a regular basis, and it's just fucking, it's depressing.
I think everybody here has had like their moments, some more than others.
I get anxiety, and I have a little PTSD. You know what I'm saying, from the past lifestyle that I've lived, and you know what I'm saying. So I get it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
My thinking is like, you know, I would like to see people get help for their mental illnesses, but at the same time, it's like they're hard to identify until you're in it. So you see this person lose their mind or do something crazy. I mean, I'm really not qualified to diagnose anybody with mental illnesses, but there are certain situations that I'm in where I'll be like, damn, is this person crazy or what?
Right.
Or just negligent.
The thing that pisses me off nowadays about mental illness, every little thing that someone has is a mental illness. You know, I can't go to the store without my fucking dog.
Xanax
and this and that.
Oh, you're talking about what do they call that?
What?
Oh, therapy dogs. Therapy pets.
I think it's like half of it's bullshit. They just want to take their fucking dogs into the goddamn store.
For some of them, it's not though.
Some of them, it's not. No.
A lot of them have that dog and stroke that fucking puppy.
So a lot of people got like what you were talking about, anxiety. Where that pet makes them feel secure.
It does, so, and I guess in the same thing.
But I would say like someone who is going to acknowledge their ailments and like do something about it. I think that's cool.
Right.
I think that's what I think more people should like. Okay, I got a problem. Now I'm gonna fix it, as opposed to some people who, like, we were having a conversation a few days ago about a friend of mine where regular everyday life, they are cool as a fan, right? As soon as they get a little bit of liquor in them, they turn into complete assholes. Like just complete. It's a dumpster fire, dog.
Right.
Like, for real.
Right.
Like, what the fuck just happened? Like you just flipped the switch and now I feel like I'm in danger. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. But
no, that is mental illness.
I don't know how to classify that.
It's mental illness.
Is that mental? Okay.
That is mental illness.
Definitely.
You know, I like you said, I hate when, same for me with alcoholics, addicts, people with mental illness, I hate the fucking poor me. Poor me, I have this. Poor me, I'm not gonna fucking do nothing. I'm just gonna sit here and mope. Yes, depression is sometimes hard to get out of, but people get out of it. So it's obviously seen that this person has overcome the same type of depression that you have. Right. This person has overcome the same addiction that you have. It's all about your willpower and wanting to change. Don't just sit there and be like, oh, I have anxiety. Oh, I have depression. Oh, poor me. Where you can fucking do something about it. Right. You know, it's not easy. It's still a struggle, but at least you're doing something about it.
I disagree. I agree with that. I'm being serious for 1 second. There are diagnosed people, depression. Let's stick with depression. Okay. People suffer from depression. Everybody doesn't have the same resolve when it comes to depression, because not everybody is the same. Just like a snowflake, just like a criminal case, no two are exactly alike. There's always different extenuating circumstances in each.
Yeah.
The way you handle depression, the way I handle it may be totally different. You may need to get outside, get some fresh air, and you feel a little better. Me, the way I deal with certain things is I hide from the rest of the world. I close the curtains, close the blinds, lock the door, and don't put my phone on silent. And I don't want to be bothered.
Right.
And for me, that works.
Right.
Some people call that an antisocial personality, which
it somewhat is, but it's still depression. Yeah. But the thing is, you can get yourself out of that. You're here tonight. You're not constantly 24/7 hiding in your fucking room, not trying to get the help that you fucking need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, we got people talking.
Yeah. But that is, especially in the black community, we don't address mental health. And that's why a lot of us, what the fuck?
What?
There's a lot of people, I got sidetracked by Aaron's comment. There's a lot of people, especially in the black community, we don't address mental health.
We don't. Just like addiction.
We breeze over it, and we just kind of just like, it is what, ain't nothing wrong with that. Or the crazy motherfucker in the neighborhood that you know is crazy, they just go, that's mama's special boy. Y'all know this motherfucker's crazy.
Yeah.
Give him some help, and you probably could save his life. And he just stayed, he just go to jail every 2 weeks.
Right. And that's why I don't believe in such things as gateway drugs.
No.
I don't believe marijuana is a gateway drug. If you smoke marijuana, you're gonna... No, it involves something mentally in your mind state that leads you to do these things, and you're just using drugs and alcohol to mask these things. Now, alcohol can be a mental illness, and it is a disease, as they call it, because when you drink it, something clicks in your brain. We've talked about that before.
Right.
But, it's just... It is... I don't know. It's a deep subject, bro.
Yeah. But I think this brings up the chat room brings up a very interesting thing is in this particular situation that he's talking about here in the chat, I think that person would have benefited a lot from having someone to speak to as far as their mental illness.
Right.
Or what was going on with them mentally.
Exactly.
As opposed to letting it go and end up dying from it. I mean, that's heartbreaking.
It is. And I think, I'm not super big into the pharmaceutical world, but there is medicines that do help with depression. If you go to your doctor and says, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm feeling, this is what my actions have been, they can try to help you get the right dosage of medication to see if that'll help you balance out those things, and you can, live a function. You're going to be sad, of course, something like that. If you lose a child or something, you're still going to be sad, but you're not going to kill yourself.
Well, what were you hinting on before is something that I think as the black community is concerned, like, we don't want to acknowledge this shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, this motherfucker's crazy. You know this motherfucker is a problem.
When that motherfucker was outside,
we're not gonna get him no help because that would acknowledge that to some people they feel like, oh, that means I failed. No, he's crazy.
He's crazy.
Let's
Give
help
him some help.
Yeah.
When this little motherfucker's 8 years old drowning puppies in the pond behind the house, you knew something was wrong with this motherfucker. Right. But you decided, that's my special boy. Like Aaron said, we'll put him in the back room. He'll be all right. No, get this little cocksucker some help.
You gotta collect maybe dead flies under his bed.
Right.
And maybe this motherfucker might not grow up to climb a clock tower and start picking motherfuckers off.
I mean, even they were talking about, who was the comedian? I want to say Chris Rock or D.L. Hughley or one of them. Even back in the early days, was talking about how that's mama's special little boy. Got the helmet on, can't get past the screen door. He's just looking at everybody. Right. That's what they do. They keep him in the house and keep him in. It's like, fuck, lady, you want your son to live somewhat of a normal life, and that's the sad thing about it is that us as a black community don't realize there's medications and therapies to where they could become a little bit more normal. You're not going to be all the way correct. The motherfucker's still going to be deep down crazy. You know what I'm saying? But he's not gonna be drowning puppies and shit.
We can suppress it. In some way.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the obvious mental illnesses like depression, anxiety, and then there's stuff that people don't even classify as mental illness, but they really are. Like, for example, you catch your girl in the car with another guy, you think the right process is to set the whole car on fire. That's a mental illness. There's a YouTuber I like. He talks about how he does not allow his girlfriend, she's not allowed to hang out with her girlfriends for girls' night out. She's not allowed to have social media of any kind. Extreme control issues.
Yeah,
that's a sign of mental illness. When you have...
That's too far.
That's... When you feel like you have to control every aspect of a person's life, that's an indication of mental illness. Like I said, I went to the extreme with setting the car on fire with the motherfuckers in it, but...
I mean, OCD. I mean, it's just... Well, some people take that to like a relationship standard where you have to wear this, you have to do this, this has to be like this, and I'll tell you, my wife, I love her to death, but she said, you know, if I would walk in the house with some shoes on, she would flip the fuck out like, no, feces and blah, 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 blah. And then she found her medicine. And, you know, now she's more relaxed. And if I happen to walk in with her, she'll give me a look, but she's not going to freak the fuck out.
She's calmed it down a little bit.
But people do that, man. I mean, I've seen where people will wash their hands to like their hands are damn near rubbed raw.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. I can't fathom it, but that's a mental illness.
Definitely is. If I could take 1 second to adjust the chat room. My man Pooh in there said, hey, I'm not crazy. Damn you, JL. Cuz I've known you for a long time. One, we weren't talking about you in the chat room. That's one. Two, you are fucking lunatic. Remember, you threw the guy through the window of that restaurant. I didn't say the guy. I didn't say the name of the restaurant. And we'll just leave it there. So, you know something wrong with you.
Alrighty.
I let it do.
Anyway, yeah, like I said before, the three of us, hell combined, aren't really qualified to diagnose it, but that doesn't mean we don't notice the shit.
Right.
You know? I mean, even with the story I was telling earlier, like, I don't think that's necessarily mental illness, but at the same time, what do you think of your significant other to do, you know, to try to basically just pull the wool over his eyes like that? Like, you went all this time, you have a child at home, you went all this time without talking to your significant other. He can't leave the house for certain reasons, but you turn your phone off? Like, these are the people why would you not want the people who care about you to be able to get in contact with you unless you have some shady shit going on?
Right. I mean, it could be considered a mental. I look at mental illness as this. What is mental? That's your mentality, right? If your mentality is fucked up, and there's different degrees. I think it's just like allergies. Some allergies are very minute. Some is to be fucking extreme. Like, if you were overhearing some dust of peanut, you're... You know what I'm saying? Your mentality and how you think about or handle situations is could be mental illness. Like Jay said. I mean, we've all thought about, you know, burning people in a car and stuff like that.
Well, I didn't say shit about thinking about hurting people or burning people up in a car.
That at all.
I didn't say nothing about that.
Think about. I'm not saying actually doing it.
I didn't say what I thought about it.
We all have our triggers that will push us to extreme violence.
I just want to point out you got a problem because I didn't say nothing about thinking about it. I use that as an example of something a guy might do. Your ass took it as we've all thought about it, like trying to drag me into your fucked up mindset.
Well,
no, nigga,
I'm just saying. You've had some fucked up thoughts.
Ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm not.
You know, yeah, right. Oh, who is this? But you know, it's the mentality, man, of your thought process. I look at mental illness sometimes as if, you know, learning disabilities. They call it learning disabilities, but it's something in your mind. You can't. You know, if you're 12 and you can't figure out how to tie a shoe, there's something wrong with your mental state. I mean, that's just how I look at it.
I'm just reading the chat room. Carrie's saying about you know, how people view mental illness, and she's right. But but just to say, if you know somebody, right? If you know somebody they got something like a screw loose,
yeah,
you know. You have to take the initiative to get them some help, especially for somebody you care about. Now, I get it where you tried so much to help somebody and you just like, okay, I'm done with this shit.
Right.
But
because you can
just completely like ignoring it and just like locking them in their room.
That ain't gonna help. You can only help somebody that wants help.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? But in the same breath, you can't ignore it. And that's what we do, especially in the black community. We ignore it to the fullest. And well, we keep saying black community, But
it's universal.
It
But
is because
It's
let's look at
You just happen to
the
be
mass
black guys.
shooters,
That's all.
and that is definitely mental illness. Let's look
It
at the
definitely
kids
is.
that go in there and shoot up the
Oh
schools.
boy, are we going over that next?
Shoot up the schools. The dude in Vegas that decided to dump on the crowd. You know what I'm saying?
But how
Black folks don't do that.
Okay, hold on, wait.
Yeah, they do.
I
Yeah.
mean, sometimes.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's called the South Side of Chicago.
Well, that's
motherfucker.
true. That's
They-
true.
they
Agreed.
do.
Agreed.
Like, we're in that same token.
Crazy
Okay,
wild shit like
Yeah.
that.
you have school shootings and mass shootings, things of that nature. Yeah, but we have in Chicago in one weekend they had 79 shootings.
Yeah.
That points
50.
to
What? Some of those died.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to account that to mental illness, but it does say something about your mentality
When you
to
don't
And that's
value,
the
just
men-
indiscriminately shoot
When you
and don't
don't
care
value
that
life.
Yeah,
children
that is
or
a
old
mental
people are there
illness.
when you
Yeah.
do it. So
That's mentally ill.
So just as fucked up as those kids in
Yeah.
Columbine, those motherfuckers on the south side of Chicago is just as fucked up, in my opinion.
You're right. No, I agree.
Yeah, I'm not arguing. I'm just using it
Yeah.
as an example. That's my
Yeah.
opinion.
No, I agree
You're just as fucked up.
we all agree, get some fucking help.
But-
or get help for whoever it is you care about that needs
You have to, man. Nowadays, you
Because
just seriously
You
have
can't
to
just
because
you can't just brush that shit under the rug, man.
no,
That's not
suicide rate.
you
is
setting
at an
somebody else
all-time
out
high.
when you do that, because that person might get triggered at somebody else who don't know they got a problem.
Yeah.
You just brush it under the rug, and now that problem becomes some stranger's problem. So
Yeah.
get them help if you can, or you know what I'm saying, intervention time. I don't know, whatever you can do to help those people, help them, please. Now,
Hold on, what was you about to say?
I was saying, well, looking at statistics, suicide rate is at an all-time high. Overdosing is at an all-time high. So all these things contribute. Murder is everywhere is at an all-time high, and all these things contribute to one thing: fucking mental illness.
And niggas. No, I'm just kidding.
You know,
I'm joking. I'm
they
joking.
keep talking about.
joking.
Listen, they keep talking about
joking.
gun control. Okay, if a motherfucker is crazy and wants to kill somebody, he's gonna find a way to kill you. Whether
Yeah.
and I understand it's the mass amounts of people you can kill with a gun and all that, but they can make bombs.
okay, yeah, I get that,
You know.
and you're right. But the issue, as far as gun control is concerned, is the level of background check that they do
Right,
on someone
and I agree.
who is diagnosed
I agree.
with a mental
And
illness,
I agree. And
they
there's
still sell them a gun.
And I agree with that.
That's a problem.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Not because me, I own a gun, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not a nut job. Well, at least not.
I mean, I
I'm
own
not
a gun
dangerous.
too,
I'll
but-
say that. I'm not
Guns
dangerous.
all over the place.
Right. I'm just saying. I'm not dangerous.
Yeah,
I'm not looking to hurt anybody.
No,
my gun is
no,
for
I'm not
protection.
today. I'm not today.
But
You know.
at the same time, yeah, that's a different issue. But
Here's my thoughts on gun control, and then I got to go into another topic real quick. Or not another topic, but another aspect of this conversation. Here's my thoughts really quick on gun control. One, you're taking the guns out of the hands of law-abiding citizens.
that's not what it is.
I know, I realize that. But that's what they're trying to enforce. For example,
They try to sell you that's what they try to do.
I
but it's-
realize
that's
that.
not
That's what
it.
liberals are trying to yeah. But you've got countries where they don't even have guns. Not law enforcement, not criminals. You know what they do? These motherfuckers have manufactured knives out of 3D printers. They're the machete deaths, where they hack you to death.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to stop violence.
It's not.
The states that have the stricter gun laws have the higher crime rates. So you might as well just, say arm the average citizen.
I will say this too, though. There's a lot less crime in certain countries because their health care is free, and it's easier to get help with somebody with mental illness. You know what I'm
see that.
saying? Than here, where it's easier to get a gun than it is to get help.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I'm
That's a
saying?
fucking good point. I mean,
and that's part of mental health. We got to look at what the fuck do we need to do? We need to make it easier for those who have the want to get the help to get the help.
So address
You
the
know what
mental
I'm
health
saying?
issue.
I was talking to a friend earlier today, and you know she's real stressed and this and that, and with their job situations, they're paying $800 for health insurance for the family
Annually or a month?
a month.
it's a mortgage payment.
Right. You know what I'm
Who can
saying?
afford that?
Exactly, and that's she's struggling to figure out how to do this and all this because she had a job that had great health care, but now doesn't. But it's just so fucked up how the United States is when it comes to that getting help. They make it so hard. I mean, they make it hard for people. So, like with recovery homes, we're always full. But we don't charge that much. We charge a little, of course. But the ones that are open, that have space, literally, and this is no joke, $15,000 a month, and you have to have private pay.
Damn.
Or private health insurance.
Yeah.
So you gotta be able to afford to get help.
They don't.
Right.
They don't work.
They don't accept people from drug court. They don't accept people. It has to be this. And so you have all this space.
Passages in Malibu.
Right. You have all this where you can get help, but yet nobody can afford that shit.
So there's no profit in it. There's no money in
Right.
it. They had the war on drugs back in the 80s,
Yeah.
but hell, they could prosecute and make a killing. They confiscate everything you own.
Right.
They had war on terrorism.
Yeah.
Shit, that was just an excuse to make bombs and blow
Right.
shit up. There's no profit in helping the mentally ill,
That's
so
true.
they don't fucking care.
That's true.
And with that being said, like he said, I'm not clinically none of us are clinicians. So me personally, get help, but I don't really care about your mental health because that gives me something to talk about. Or
You don't
something
care
to laugh
when you
at.
fucking hawk at somebody to
And they jump out and
Jump
with
out
an
and
AR-15.
fucking murk your ass.
Then I
And that's
feel
what
funny.
that's what scares me though. That's exactly what scares
Right.
me is somebody who I don't know is because if they're a stranger, you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who's mentally, mental illness jumping out the car, and now I'm like, do I shoot him? Like, what do I
Right.
do? You know?
Yep.
And the thing is sometimes
Yep.
somebody can start off, normal. Man, perfect example. Y'all remember the movie Falling Down?
Yeah, great movie.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can tell he had a little bit of issues, but all the shit kept building up and building up and to where that motherfucker just boom lost
One day
it.
he exploded.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
He lost everything and started killing everybody.
Yeah, that's just like the whole world now. That's like every first car is his ass nowadays.
That's how I'm going out, by the way.
You know?
Richard Gere style. Taking everybody with me.
Hell no.
Speaking
That
of
was
No, that was Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas, my bad. I
That's
said
all
Richard
good.
Gere. Richard Gere was
That's
the
all
guy with the gerbil in his ass. My bad. I confused
Okay.
him. I got him confused.
I'd like the world to forget that.
I'm pretty sure he would. Does that go back? You guys, a while back, we did a show called Recognizing Red Flags.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. In that show, we talked about recognizing that this motherfucker's crazy.
Yeah.
So we kind of touched on this topic somewhat where we talked about you
That was one of the red flags. It was a major one.
recognizing that this motherfucker might be crazy. He might try to duct tape you to your car and set it on fire. Mm-hmm. If this motherfucker hop out the bushes with a butterfly knife because you didn't call him back you didn't
Right.
text him right away, and it's only been 8 minutes. Like, nigga, how'd you get here so fast? Why are you in my bushes with a butterfly knife?
Right.
Those might be red flags.
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked about this somewhat. We just didn't go in depth with it. But those red flags, I knew a guy who kept fucking with this chick for years. This chick vandalized his car, his bike, his house. Did some other shit involving his baby mama. I mean, just horrible shit. But he kept fucking with her, and I'm like, you didn't recognize none of these red flags? You didn't walk away after the first time I think she threw your keys in the sewer or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely something you should fucking look at and tell yourself, this is not a fucking good situation. Like, I don't get it. You know. I don't know.
Man.
Anyway, let's switch gears here. I also wanted to talk about yo badass kids because I don't know if that's part of mental illness, but y'all just letting these motherfuckers run wild out here, man, and that shit is starting to bug me. And I know Justin got a lot of experience dealing with other people's kids. I don't have a lot of my experience with dealing with other people's kids is like really quick. It's like they're there, they're annoying, and then I just get away from them because they're not my kids. because I remember being a kid growing up, and I don't remember smarting off to my mom and dad like I be seeing these new kids do.
Nope.
No, hell no.
No.
I would imagine, and I know J mom, so I know that. No, she did not.
Oh, mom didn't play. No.
She did
mom
not play.
didn't play at all.
She will fire on you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, that's not an exaggeration.
No.
You mouth off.
I got hit in the mouth twice because that's all it took.
Right. You don't need all this extra. I mean, I'm not condoning the beating of children.
I am.
But I'm not writing it off either.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, oh, it's not the way because, you know, kids need to respect them, and fuck that, man. You get respect when you earn it.
When you get it. And I'm going through this situation myself. You know, the boys, he becoming a teenager and thinking he's, you know, I don't know, it has to do with his dad not being around and I'm around, whatever. But
I think that has something to do with it.
It's got something to do with it. And I'm the one that's strict and
sure shit is a symptom.
Right. Right. And I'm the one that, you know, but yeah, there's times where I have to pray because I know 911 is finna be called because I'm finna just like literally beat him like a grown man. I haven't. I've yoked him. Trust me, he gets yoked up. You know what I'm saying? But and it's just like you said, I can't fathom. Bro, I was gang banging at a young age, doing some gang banging shit. I came home, yes sir. Yes ma'am.
You switched it up. You got to the crib,
You know, go to my room. Okay.
He was a hardcore thug. Like, I ain't scared of shit. Right. Fuck them. Shit, you ain't never gonna do nothing to me. Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir. You will let me do this? Yes, sir. I'll get right on that, sir.
When it came to them fucking pythons on my dad's arm, yeah, bro, I wasn't talking back. For one, that's just how you was taught.
And you know what? And they say this isn't healthy, but I can't see it not being healthy. I don't know about the two of y'all, but I'm pretty sure you'll agree with me on this. I was afraid of my father.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like terrified.
These kids ain't scared.
Shit.
No. They will punk you right in your face.
I think I told you.
I saw this shit Saturday where there was several times where I don't know this person super well, but all I know is how we were around. You know, when your mom had people over, or your mom was around grown-ups and they having grown-up conversation, you stayed your punk ass.
You was gone.
Room. It didn't matter if you was. It didn't matter if you was 5 or 15.
You was gone.
It didn't matter. It didn't, not even gone.
Just
you don't interfere in grown folks' conversation.
Right.
This little girl was bold as shit. And she was just telling her mom what she was gonna do, and she didn't care about what her mom was saying. And I'm just sitting here listening to this like, when is she gonna fire on her?
Right.
Because I was expecting that. I'm like, if I was this little girl, I would already got the chest punch. You know what I'm saying? But what's going on out here? Where happened to the fear?
Right.
Like that fear when you heard your pop's car roll up into the driveway and you straightened the fuck up. Like, hey, I ain't doing shit here. You know? What happened to that? Like, where did that go?
And Pooh's correct, man. Nowadays, if you touch a kid, especially outside of the confines of your home, there's gonna be some nosy motherfucker that's gonna call, DCS and all that shit.
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with, but it happens.
Because when we were kids coming up, and I hate to say this because I sound like the old nigga, but I'm 39, so I kind of am the old nigga. But when we were kids coming up, they told us, if somebody hits you or touches you in an inappropriate way, you can dial 911 and have them and report them, and we'll safeguard you. And they told us that when we were kids, and I was like, I don't buy what you're selling. So we had that available. We knew there was protection out there, DCS and all the other, and I used to work there, and all that other bullshit, but we still knew healthy amount of respect for the household. What I blame it on, and this is just my personal opinion, I blame it on kids having kids.
Yeah.
When all those I caught myself. I caught myself. I'm doing good.
And all them women.
Yeah. And when women started, well, not women, when kids started having kids at 15, 16, 17 years old, you get arrested development. You're still a kid trying to raise a kid. You don't know shit. So, and a lot of these chicks, they revert back. So when that kid is 15, 16 years old, mom still thinks she's 15, 16 years old. And she wants to be the kid's friend instead of being that parent. So a lot of these chicks are not instilling that.
I feel as if
I agree with that too.
I do. I feel as if, like, let's a scenario, right? Say I have a kid. Me and this kid are getting into it. You know, I'm the grown up. It's the child. And this little MF is bold enough to call the law on me. I like to think that a cop would have enough insight on society to come to the house, be like, oh, there's nothing wrong here, I'm out. As opposed to trying to arrest me for parenting.
So this incident happened. This was a few years ago. This was a few years ago when the oldest stepchild, we were having, which he's doing great now. I mean, you know, we've come to understanding. But at this time, you know, he tested me and this and that, and I had to put the hands on him. And the police were called because he was wilding out and this and that. Cop gets there, blah, blah, blah. Basically, the cop was like, next time I get a phone call, I will hold you down and let him beat your ass. Like,
that's good police work right there.
Right. I mean, he was like, I will hold you down, and he has the right to scold you in his home, you know. And but there's some police that ain't like that. I don't know, man, but it is the mentality of how these parents are. I mean, my parents, and I know they didn't cuss in front of me, you know. Mine didn't.
Right.
Not like how I cuss in front of mine,
right.
But they didn't do anything. Like, I thought my parents were saints.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I was going next when you finished talking. But go ahead.
No, I mean, I thought my parents were saints. Like, they showed me how to look.
Yeah.
In public, in the house, except for when they started getting divorced, and then that was a whole different story. Right. But you know, that was
She got ugly.
She got a little ugly.
He was on top of motherfuckers.
I don't like you look just like your motherfucker.
That's how it goes in divorce, you know.
But they showed me how to be a man, and they showed me how to respect. That's like they didn't cuss in front of Granny, you know, and it was just a show of respect.
So how do parents get the respect back?
See, that's
a good question. I'm trying to find that shit.
It's not a hard question. I can answer that one. It's very simple. One, what our parents did was in that day and age, for me, I'm speaking for me, because like he said, our parents weren't 17, 18, 19 having us. They were late 20s, early 30s, somewhere in there. So that's one. That's two, they were established and stable. So it wasn't a lot of struggle. There's still struggle, but not a lot of struggle. And three, it wasn't all that club hopping and dumping the kids off with grandma every weekend, and the kids seeing mom coming in drunk, or seeing mom with a different dude, or the little girl don't say that's my mom's husband, or that's my stepdaughter, that's my father. The kid is saying that's my mama boyfriend, that's my mama boyfriend, that's my mama boyfriend, that's that other nigga who used to come through and see my mama late at night. It was, you set that example. If the kids see, like you said, I thought my parents were saints. I'd never seen my mom smoke a cigarette, take a drink, go out to a nightclub, come in drunk. I've never seen any of that. Same thing when my dad got older, he's kind of calmed down. That nigga, all he did was go to work, come home, take care of the household, and help. And then weekends come, it was like, what are we doing this weekend? Shit, nothing.
Right.
I was like, y'all ain't going, nobody going out or nothing? Like, no. They set that example. It was some Mayberry bullshit, but that's what it was. And it was like, oh, well, okay. That's where that respect comes from. It's not a matter of fear. It's a healthy dose of fear, because you're still afraid, but it's admiration on top of fear. I admire and respect y'all. At the same time, I'm afraid because y'all can fuck me up. Yeah. And even when I'm old enough to where I can think I can fight back, I still got enough respect to play like I'm afraid of you. Because you might try to cut me in my sleep or something.
Yeah.
You might creep in my room and hit me in the head with that baseball bat.
So,
real quick, though, I just got to say this. Pooh, you're a little wrong because you said white folks want to do that timeout BS. Remember when Brad said my mom would fire off on me and anybody else in the house? She is white and she would fire off on anybody. She didn't give a fuck about no timeouts.
Yeah, she ain't bullshit.
There's none of that, bruh.
I mean, even being an adult, and that speaks to it. Because even being an adult, there were times when, like, remember that time when your mom showed up at your house, and I was like, "Hey, you know what I was doing?"
I know what you're talking about.
And as soon as I was like, "Who is that?"
I'm
an adult. I'm an adult, grown man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I'm saying you're an adult, but you still have you have that respect for parents. You know what I'm saying? Even because I've known your mom since I was like 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, we were riding bikes too.
No, I'm not saying. I mean, it's been that long.
We were like 10,
right? So it's like you never lost that respect for them as parents. Nowadays, it's like they never had it.
Right?
It's like they never had it. They don't want it. They ain't gonna do nothing with it. And the parents, they're not trying to do nothing about it. I'm sure there's a lot of parents out there like, man, my kids ain't never gonna test me like that. I mean, they probably got control over the situation. But I've seen way too many instances nowadays where I'm just like, man, I don't want to see this kid die.
I do.
But I do want to see it get fucked up.
Right.
And I wanted to ask the question, how far can you take this shit now? I mean, I know people's like, oh, any type of physical violence is considered abuse and you could go to jail for that. But there's got to be some type of, there's got to be a way that parents can fight back against this shit.
Technically, there's a legal definition. It's don't leave marks. Any sort of marks, and even the marks are under scrutiny, it's under review. It's case by case. If you whip your kid's ass and it leaves a welt, that's not abuse. If you whoop your kid and they've got bloody scars all down the back, okay, that is abuse. It's very simple. You can use discipline, just not to an extreme. It's reasonable standard. It's what would a normal person consider acceptable. That's it. It's very simple. Fuck your kid up. Don't be afraid, and start at an early age.
Yeah, that's important.
Start at an early age. Don't
I notice a lot of bratty ass kids.
It is.
In the chat room,
brat kids.
Carrie and Jihad, they both said the same thing I said. Stop trying to be your kid's fucking friend. You're not their fucking friend.
At all.
I hang out. These are my fucking friends.
I find that annoying. Like,
you're not their fucking friend.
If I meet a female and she's got kids and I see her kids talking crazy, I'm like, nah.
I hate when I would have
already fist fought your kid.
Right, and I hate when they say, "Oh, but that's my best friend."
No, it's not your best friend. You're not doing them any favors
at all. You're making
this person
them
ain't
worse.
Learning no type of respect.
It's just like, so, when the eldest finally, it was a night before his 18th birthday. The night before. Guess what? Figure it out now. Because you want to come wild out in this house? No.
But here's the thing.
Figure it out.
Are you confident in the fact that, okay, he's 18 now, right? He's on his own. Do you feel confident that person can lead a productive life on his own right now?
I don't. But it's not going to be let in my house. Wilding out.
All I'm saying is I feel like parents got to take their power back.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And Pooh said that's false information, Jay. I'm not sure.
Which one? Yeah, I'm like, it's not a child. Child can say when they're whipped, and it's an open case. Actually, you can report. The child can report to any. I can touch on that because I did this for 13 years. But a child can report that he was whipped. The child can make what's called a false claim or false allegation. It will be investigated, but that's going to be extremely thoroughly investigated. That kid is going to have to come up with time, dates, everything. When it occurred, how did they whoop you? Were they whooping you this way? Did they come with overhand, backhand? What was it, a belt, extension cord? Do you know? Can you show me the extension cord? Can you show me the belt? It's a very in-depth case that goes into it. Now, the question I got to ask, the one right above that, you said, why would you respect someone when you can't back up your words? That one I'm confused about. I don't know what
we were talking about how did parents get the respect back, and that's what it's a reference
to. Oh, okay,
gotcha. I mean, truth be told is, when we were kids growing up, And we weren't perfect. Of course, we were kids. We were little stupid
hell
animals
yeah.
who thought we knew more than what we did.
Right.
Just how it goes. You're a kid. However, that fear I had when I was with, like, because a lot of times I'd be with Jay's mom as a kid, you know? But I knew, them being, related and all, I knew that I couldn't fuck up here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna fuck up here. Because I know if I fuck up here, I definitely gotta go home and deal with that
And
shit.
get fucked up again.
I'm sure as shit not finna talk smack to my father. Are you kidding me?
Right.
You know what I mean?
To
Like
any adult,
any
really.
adult. But I mean specifically, I'm not finna. If anybody I'm gonna try to pull it with, he's last.
Yeah.
My mom, you know what I'm saying? And if you think I'm bullshit, I remember one time when I was a kid, my parents did has anybody ever had a tag team?
A tag team
whooping?
fuck you up? Yeah, it's called a handicap match.
Dude, I got a handicapped ass whooping.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was no joke. It was traumatic. But you know what I learned in that ass whooping? I know everybody's gonna be like, oh, well, you shouldn't hit your kids. Fuck that. Whatever. You know what I learned? I learned not to do that shit no more.
I respect them more.
Yep.
As an adult. I respect him more.
It was like, it was like the fear that I had for my dad. I realized that my mother was just as capable as the same kind of violence, which at that point in my life, I wasn't sure of, but then I learned.
Right.
So mouthing off to mom wasn't nothing that I was going to get away with either.
No.
But these new, I feel like as a responsible citizen, I need to start a service where your kids, you feel like your kids is overwhelming me or overwhelming you, like just with a lot of lip and attitude.
Send them your way.
You call the number and two dudes just show up and show you why your kid ain't shit. I'm not saying physical violence. I'm just saying, however.
I mean, but it's back to that mental illness shit.
I would pay real money for that.
It's like
I'd pay that money for somebody else.
I told you that story of happening in the summertime where the young one got into it with some of the neighborhood kids, and then the neighborhood kid came over to the yard and I was talking to him and he was talking mad shit. Like I literally, bro, in my mind, picture myself pulling out my gun and just shooting him in the toe.
Damn, good.
Just to teach him.
Okay.
Like this is
the kids in the neighborhood.
Yeah, the kid.
Okay.
Like this is the.
I know if you're talking about your kid or them.
Well, sometimes. I mean, sometimes.
Well, yeah, that comes with.
But
the
I'm like, I want to be like, this is the path you're headed on. So I'm just gonna shoot you in the toe now. Hope you learn. And survive.
You shoot me in the toe, I'm coming back.
I'm just saying.
Whether it's 15 or 50.
I really, I seriously wanted to haul off on him.
I'm coming back, buddy.
I wanted to just, like, mollywop him down the street. And then when his dad came, then I probably had to put one in him, but,
Right.
I'm just saying.
Anyway, so...
really, this motherfucker.
Shoot a kid in the toe.
I'm just saying.
I'm sorry.
You should have used a marker.
Motherfucker, I ain't got a marker.
Well,
anyway,
should have done that. These cameras eventually go off.
Whatever, nigga. There's two things that honestly. Go ahead, read it. There's two things that upset me a little bit. When I see a chick in the club or a bar who's 38 and she's in there with her daughter who's 21, that upsets me a little bit.
That should never happen.
It's like, bitch.
I mean, unless it's like somebody's birthday or something that I can see that, but
my mindset is
hanging out with my kids.
I hate to see chicks who are like, well, my kids is old enough to stay by themselves, or my kids grown now, so I can do me again. I've been a mom since I was 15. The minute you decide to be a parent is the minute you stop being a kid. So you don't get to go and relive those glory days you missed out on. You just live your life and be a mom now. You don't need to be hanging out with your kid at the club. That's your kid's time. Let your kid be a young adult and have their time. You go sit your ass at home and be a mom. Knit some shit. Crochet some shit.
It's like Carrie here is she's old school. Like she didn't fucked up a kid or two.
I agree. Carrie, I don't even know you, but I agree with you. I agree with you. The other thing is, I hate to see, and I used to work as a special education counselor at one of the local high schools here when I first moved back here. I had a mom, we had a kid, we had to pull him out of class. He was completely disruptive, acting a complete asshole. Called his mom, explained to her your son's an asshole. You need to come get him. Like now. The mom comes in there, just big burly bitch. Tattoos all up every part, and she's about a good 325. Maybe 5'6". She fucking with a heavyweight. This bitch is shaped like a fucking memory foam mattress.
If the bitch gets on the rope, she's unstoppable.
Oh yeah, this is Big Mama Gertrude and shit. And she comes up there, instead of sitting down and being reasonable and being like, okay, well, what are you accusing him of? She just comes through the door screaming, yelling, cussing, going off. Defense of the kid. And we're like, you don't even know the whole story. I hate you're not trying to engage, you're just automatically trying to defend. Stop trying to be this little motherfucker's friend and help him out. Take some accountability and help this little cocksucker so that he don't grow up to go to prison.
I think by the time your kid is old enough to understand your words, the threat, not necessarily you have to jump straight to violence.
Right.
I don't believe that. But if necessary, that kid needs to know that violence is on the table.
Violence is an option. Violence is always an option.
You know what I'm saying? Ass whoopings are free.
You can't and will get fucked up out
That ain't
of
gonna cost me nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I mean, hey, that's some newfangled form of parenting that I really don't approve of, and I feel like I'm blessed for not having any kids, because I feel like if I did and they got out of line, that I'd probably go to jail.
Man, all day, because this
or already be in.
This is old school parenting.
You know what I'm saying? That book everybody likes to hold so dear, it says right in there, spare the rod, spoiled child. So
there you go.
Either you are or you aren't. You know,
there it is. So. Well, unfortunately, I gotta wrap this one up, man.
Yeah, man, we running out of
time.
Well, my final thoughts for one is if you got a friend or a loved one who is going through something mentally, you know what I'm saying, don't be afraid to reach out to that person and show them that you care about them and get them the help they need. Now, on the flip side of parenting, I am if I'm at the store and your kid is acting up and you clothesline this little motherfucker and then Hulk Hogan leg drop their ass, I ain't gonna say shit.
No, I'll trip on.
I'm going to step over your kid. I'm just step right over your kid and I'm gonna get down on the ground and I'm gonna count it out like it's WWE. And I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna hold your hand up. Yep. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm gonna handle that situation. Then I'm gonna grab my box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch and then I'm gonna be on my way. And that's my final thought.
Oh, well, all right. Any final thought?
No, sorry, I had to get up. It was
okay.
Work emergency stuff.
Okay.
But no, just we were talking about the help. Just please, get your folks the help that they need. Don't push it to the side. No more little June bugs in the back, locked in the door with the helmet on their head. Just get the help they need.
Okay, that's what's up. Final thought, really, if you can, because you can help your kid. People don't understand. You can get the help you need for a young adult, for an adult, for loved ones, family members. And some of that shit is free. Majority of it is free if you know where to look. You can dial 211 and say, I need free counseling for my fucked up kid. And you can get it. Don't be worried about the cost and don't be worried about how this is gonna make me look. Help this little motherfucker now so he don't become a future carjacker of America that I'm gonna have to put a bullet in. Because I'm not rolling him around on the ground. I'm putting a bullet in this little bastard. So if you don't want to bury this little son of a bitch, you might want to get him some help now.
Yeah, you're not doing them no favors.
No favors.
All right.
Well, with that, we are going to wrap today's show up. I want to thank everybody in the chat room for joining us. Carrie, Aaron, Jihad, even Gloria was in there laughing at us. That's cool too. That's fine. Please like and share and hit that notification bell so you know when we go live. And we also have a page on Facebook if you want to jump in there. Sometimes we have conversations there before we do the show too. So, go ahead and join us on that. And I appreciate all y'all for joining us tonight. We probably will be back on Saturday to do another show. I'm not sure what the topic is going to be, but if we think it's something good, we'll put it out on Facebook, and we'll see what y'all think. And until the next time, thank you and good night.
Good night. Deuce, motherfucker.